In this video, we're going to be talking about the 3 things that I wish I'd known before choosing my degree and my major. I'm Rob Malicki and this is Choosing Your Uni, coming to you today from Ningaloo Reef in Coral Bay. And this is the perfect place to talk about this subject because my first degree was a biology degree. And there were things that I definitely wish I would have known before choosing that degree and my particular major. How good is this?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So what's a major anyway? Well, a major is simply a coherent, it's something like a specialisation, if you like. A specialisation that you do as part of a degree. So let's say you're doing a science degree and you're going to specialise in biology. And essentially you do your major in the last year of your degree. And a major usually is something like 4 or 6 or maybe even 8 specific units that you take, or units from a particular specialisation. That means as you finish your degree, you can say to an employer, well, I've actually sort of specialised, I've majored in, let's say, biology or in international law or whatever it might be that you happen to have chosen. And so, do you need to choose your major straight away? Well, sometimes, depending on the degree, you might need to choose a major right away, early in your degree, but often, as long as in the first year of your degree and in the second year, you're taking units that logically lead towards a major that you might want to take, you often have the flexibility to finally choose your major, to confirm your major in your very last year. Another thing I'd say about choosing a major is that 1/3 of students, 1/3 of graduates will never work in the discipline in which they studied. So for me, first degree was a science degree. I haven't worked in science ever, even though I remain really interested in it. That doesn't mean that that's been wasted time because I've picked up a whole heap of skills which I continue to use to this day, every day, whether it's like looking up at the sky and understanding how the weather works. So that's not lost time, but it does mean you can take the pressure off yourself. And the way to choose a major, and even a degree, is to choose something that interests you. Because as long as you're choosing things that interest you and you keep following those things that interest you, things that appeal to you throughout the uni that you choose to go to, the more likely it is that you're going to end up in an interesting career that matches the things that you want to spend your time on. Well, the next thing I wish I'd known when choosing my degree and a major was basically the difference between choosing a specific degree versus a generic degree. And I actually have a whole video just on this topic, you'll find it down below, as well as choosing a single degree versus a double degree. Make sure you check out those 2 videos, because when you first start your degree, you're not sure where you're going to end up. There's so many opportunities at university, and locking yourself into something that's really specific, if that's not 100% what you want to do, if you're not 100% sure and you lock yourself in, then potentially, you're taking yourself down a track that you can't then back out of very easily. So generally, my advice is if you are not sure exactly what you want to be doing after you finish university, start with a general degree and do as many different subjects as you can to get a taste for the various topic areas. You can always change, but the one thing you don't want to be doing, hopefully, is losing time because you've chosen something that's too specific and then you change your mind. I'm going to give you a bit of a tip here, guys. Once you finish your degree and you get that first job, very few people on a regular basis will say, hey, what did you study at university? And it certainly doesn't have as major consequence on your career as many people actually think. What becomes more relevant is the experience that you have and the things that you've done outside of your degree. So don't beat yourself up so much about, the major that you choose or the degree, because as long as you can explain why you've picked certain things and how those things fit together and justify those as you're going for that first job, once you got that first job, it's much less important. So for me, my first degree was a science degree. My second degree was a Master of Arts in Communications, completely different. Can I explain why I chose those 2 different areas? Yes. Can I explain the different skills that I've gotten as a result of studying those 2 very, very different degrees and very different topic areas? Yes. And that's far more important than what's actually written down on paper. Another thing I wish I'd known is that it's possible to do multiple majors. In my degree program, my Bachelor of Science, I ended up taking music classes and all sorts of things that are like really outside the box and you wouldn't think would normally fit into a science degree. And I ended up getting a major in atmospheric science and biology, as well as having an experience doing lots of different things. The fact is that once you get towards that back half of your degree and you start to find out exactly what it is that you're interested in, then you can start to say, well, I'm really loving this international relations. I'm going to give myself a major in that, or I'm going to give myself a major in business or in some other element. And that's really awesome, because then you choose those specializations, even if you choose a couple of different specializations, and those are just a couple of extra things that go on your resume. You know, in the big picture, it might not make a huge difference in the terms of your entire career, but certainly in terms of getting that first job, it can be very useful. But you've got time, so don't put pressure on yourself.